Hello students. So today we will discuss about the speed analysis or the speed study. So this is come under your module 2, that is your traffic engineering. So this is one of the vital parameter for your traffic calculation or designing of the traffic planning or traffic characteristics. Under the traffic characteristic, the speed is one of the vital and prominent factor. So this is my introduction. As you know that if you have any query, there is my WhatsApp number and my email ID is given, so you can contact with me. So what is the this description, the description of this speed study? So basically this chapter or this presentation is presented student on the basis of understanding on spot speed study. So what is spot speed study or what is the regular type of study, we will discuss in later stage. So the expected outcome from this lecture, you can find out the method associated with spot speed studies and analyze data, speed data for specific application. Content. So initially we will understand the introduction, the method of conducting spot speed study analysis and data presentation, and at the end we will find out some mathematical problem related to spot speed study. So introduction. So speed definition. What is speed? So distance traveled by a vehicle during a unit of time and expressed in kilometer per hour. So you know the definition of the speed. So it is in kilometer per hour or meter per second. So if you are talking about the vehicle, so it will be preferable unit is kilometer per hour. Next is the used to describe the quality of journey and the performance of road network in accommodating traffic demand. Spot speed study definition: speed of traffic at one point or spot on traffic way. So it is a basically some instantaneous traffic. Means spot speed traffic means suppose one vehicle is moving. Suppose this one is a particular point. One vehicle is moving, and if when the vehicle is passing this point, suddenly at some instance we want the speed, so that speed is known as the spot speed. Means an instantaneous speed at a particular spot or particular point is known as the spot speed. Next we will discuss the spot speed study purpose. What is the purpose of the spot speed study? So there is a establishing the speed zone of a new or existing speed limit or enforcement practices to determine the speeds at the problem location to validate whether speeds are too high for traffic operation and control, to establish the speed limit, to determine the safe speed at the curves. So these are the some objective or the purpose of the speed study. So we have to satisfy this purpose, and to satisfy this purpose we need to have the idea on the spot speed data. Next is the what will be the accurate location for selecting any spot speed study. So the speed trend location, the road should be straight, it should be leveled, open section of a rural highway, the middle block location on urban street. Middle block, why? Because our main target or the primary aim to select a road which is of straight, means there is no intersection, means there is no minor road meeting at a major road. So we need a straight road without any intersection, and that is the primary selection of the location for the spot speed study. So we prefer a mid block because mid block are generally without free from any interaction, free from any cross section. Next is the representative locations of different traffic condition on a highway for basic data survey. Third is the problematic location, specific traffic engineering for it. High accident frequency purpose at point where the installation of traffic signal facility may be necessary. Yes, the spot speed data is conducted for the location. Suppose I want to install a signal system for a particular road network. So at which point we will install the traffic signal. So first we have to know what is the basic purpose of the traffic intersection, means what are the basic warrants of installing the traffic intersection. So basically it gives that if the it is basically provided at some intersection or the cross area, means when the two or more number of roads are meeting at a point, and that area will provide the traffic signal. Why? So that the collision or the accident will be less, because one vehicle is coming from minor road, another vehicle is moving towards the major road, so there may be a chances of collision due to the speed. So to reduce this accident rate, we need to install the traffic signal, and to installation of the traffic signal, we first need to know the speed of that particular location. So as it is a particular location, because traffic signals is installed at a particular location, so when we are talking about the particular location, we have to find out the spot speed, means we have to find the speed at that particular spot. Next is the factors which are affect the spot speed studies. The first one is the driver, the age, gender, motive of the journey, distance of the trip. These are the some factors which come under the driver. Next, the vehicular characteristics like the age, type of the vehicle, the weight of the vehicle, the dimension of the vehicle. Then the roadways and the environment and the traffic. So these are the few factors which are affect the spot speed study. Next is the method in conducting. What are the methods for conducting of spot speed? So one thing keep in mind that there are two methods for conducting of the spot speed study. One is manual method, another is automatic method. So let's discuss about the what is the manual method. So in manual method, to observe the time required by a vehicle to cover a short distance, two reference points are located at a roadway at a fixed distance apart. Observer start and stop a stopwatch as vehicles enter and leave the test bay section. It is most uncomplicated way. Disadvantage because of the parallax effect. Okay, so suppose this one is our one distance. This one is a one distance of the road. We want to find out the spot speed surface. So suppose one vehicle is entering. This is the entry point and this is the exit point. Okay. So one vehicle is entering this point. So one surveyor will stop at this point at the middle of that selected portion. So the selected portion is should be free from any intersection, and it is preferable. It is a straight road. So one vehicle is entering. Suddenly, this person, this surveyor has to stopwatch in two hands. So in the first stopwatch, he will note down the entry time, and the second stopwatch, he will note it down the exit time. So we know the distance, we know the total duration, so we can find out the speed for that particular for this particular distance. So this is the process to identify the spot speed study, and this is some kind of manual survey where one surveyor is there who will record the entry time and the exit time, and based on the time taken to cover a particular distance, they will find out the spot speed study. Next, the automated method. What is automated method? This is also known as the radar method detector. So using reflected waves of very high frequency is directed from the radar speed meter to moving the vehicles. The waves which is directly measured is proportional to the speed at which the vehicles is moving. So the limitation of the radar meter are, it is accuracies vary, they are generally plus minus 1 to 2 mile per hour. The driver might be slowing down, this affected the result. A good measurement angle must be required. Multi-lane traffic are difficult to study. Yes, definitely when there is a multi number of lane, then it is very tough for that surveyor to to record the travel time of that particular vehicle, because it is a mixed type of heterogeneous, as I said in the first classes, that Indian traffic situation is a heterogeneous traffic, so it is very tough to maintain the uniformity in that particular for the particular lane. So this is very tough situation, so calculating the traffic vehicle, the duration on the in a busy urban road. So these are the some data presentation and analysis. So there are two type of data presentation. One is graphical presentation, another is statistical presentation or statistical analysis. In graphical presentation, we need to find out the frequency histogram, the frequency distribution curve, the cumulative frequency curve, the 15 percentile, 50 percentile, 85th percentile, and 95 percentile, and another is 98th percentile. So what is this percentile percentage? We will discuss in the later stage. And what are the statistical analysis? Statistical analysis are arithmetic, the median speed, the modal speed, and the standard deviation. So this is one example of arithmetic statistical analysis. So what this is that the accompany data table Q2, this is the table. So spot speed collected at the Jalan Datta, Kuala Lumpur. Based on the statistical method, determine the value of the following. Arithmetic mean speed, mode, median speed, and standard deviation. So this is the data given. For the data given, so it is given that in the speed range of 10 kilometer to 14.9 kilometer, two vehicles are moving. In between 15 kilometer to 19.9 kilometer, six vehicles are moving. So in this way, a range of speed is given, and for respective range of vehicles, how many vehicles are moving, that is the data is given. Now we have to calculate the arithmetic mean speed, mode speed, median speed, and standard deviation. So if you can find out the answer, so these two columns are given in the question. So third thing, the third column, heading of the third one, mean speed. Mean speed means the mid speed of 10 to 14.9. So it is 12.45. So this is the v square, means square root of square of this mean speed. Third one is the frequency. This f versus f into v. F into v. So f is, we know the frequency, we know the v. So f v is equal to fifth column, and the f into v square is equal to, we know the v square, we know the f, from that we have to find out this. Now the equation. So it is saying that the arithmetic means x equals to summation of fb by n. Sorry, fb by n. So we know the value of f, we know the value of v, and we know the n. So n is what? Total number of the vehicles, or the frequency. Total frequency is 57. From this we can find out the arithmetic value. Then the median value. So the equation for median value is given L plus n by 2 minus f L divided by ff fm into c. So this is the equation value given. So if you see that the all values are already given, all values are already given in your data sheet or in the given sheet. So from that we have calculated the median, and from standard deviation, these are some statistical equation you can find out in any standard mathematical or statistical book, and from that we can find out the mode speed. So mode speed is the 45 minus 49.9. So this is the mode speed we have find out from this mathematical problem. So next we will go in a deep study on the spot speed study, because the spot speed study is one of the vital parameter, or one of the vital factor we have to calculate, we have to analyze in any construction, during any construction of the road, because speed is one of the important dynamic factor. Because when we are discuss about the road users and the vehicle characteristics, there we have seen that the traffic characteristics are two types: one is static, one is dynamic. And in dynamic, the vehicle speed is one of the prominent and predominant factor for traffic characteristics. So and when we are talking about the speed, we always, in maximum cases, we consider the spot speed data. So what is spot speed? Speed is an important transportation consideration because it is related to safety, time, comfort, convenience, and economics. Definitely, spot speed studies are used to determine the speed distribution of a traffic stream at a specific location. The data gathered in spot speed studies are used to determine vehicle speed percentiles, which are used in making many speed related decisions. Application of spot speed. So what are the various types of application? So the determine the existing traffic operation and evaluation of the traffic control devices, establishing a roadway design elements, then assessing roadway safety questions, then monitoring traffic speed trend by systematic ongoing speed studies, and the fifth one is the measuring effectiveness of traffic control devices or traffic program, including the sign, marking, traffic operational changes, and speed enforcement program. So the spot speed study is basically applied for controlling the traffic movement, for establishing the roadway design. Design means the geometric design. In geometric design, the traffic speed is one of the vital parameter, is predominant throughout the geometric design of that particular roadway. Next is the assessing the roadway safety question. So safety measures, there are various safety measures are taken whenever you are moving in a road. You can find out that it is a accident prone area. The speed limit of at this location is supposed 30 kilometer per hour. The speed should not be more than 10 kilometer per hour in front of any hospital or the school. So speed is a predominant factor or the parameter you can always be observed throughout your journey. So the speed is always be required for your safety measures. So the monitoring the traffic speed trained by systematic ongoing speed studies, and the measuring effectiveness of the traffic control devices will be assessed from this spot speed data. Next is the traffic operation and evaluation. So evaluating and determine the proper speed limit. Determine the 58th and 85th percentile speed. Evaluating and determine proper advisory speed, establishing the limit of non-passing zone, determining the proper placement of traffic control signs and marking, and setting appropriate traffic signal timing. So all of these points are very general statement in terms of your traffic speed evaluation, but only the point number 2 which I make is a bold point, that is the 50th and 85th percentile speed. So what is this percentile speed? We need to know this. So before starting this, first give you an idea. Suppose in a particular road length, suppose this is a road length. This is a road length where the vehicles are moving. This is a particular road. So n numbers of vehicles are moving in a day. N numbers of vehicles moving in a day. So what is percentile speed? So percentile speed is percentage of the vehicle at which the particular percentage of the vehicles are moving at a particular speed. Means suppose there are 100 number of vehicles are moving on that particular road for a particular hour. Say suppose at morning 10 to morning 11 there are 100 number of vehicles are moving. So for 100 number, for the 100 number of vehicles there are 100 number of speed value. For X vehicle they have a different X speed value. For Y vehicle they have a different speed value. For Z vehicle they have different speed value. So for 100 vehicles there are 100 type of speed value. So now if we average the speed, so we will get on one average speed value. So now we have to see that how many vehicles are moving at that particular speed. Suppose one vehicle number 1 are moving at 20 kilometer speed. Vehicle number 2 are moving 22 kilometer speed. Vehicle number 3 again moves at 20 kilometer speed. So in this way you can find out that few number of vehicles are moving at the same speed. Few number of vehicles are moving at a same speed, or rather we say that suppose out of 100 vehicles, what is the speed range in which the 85% of the vehicles are moving at that particular speed. Do you get the point? So think the situation. Suppose there are 100 vehicles. So first vehicles is moving at a speed range of 10 kilometer. Second vehicles is moving at a 15 kilometer per hour. Third vehicles is moving at a say 20 kilometer hour. Fourth vehicle is moving at 18 kilometer hour. Now we have find out the maximum speed and the minimum speed. So we have get a range. Now we have to subdivide this range in a small segment. Suppose a speed range of 10 to 15 kilometer, 15 to 20 kilometer. So from this we can find out, we can segregate in a based on some speed segment. So from this speed segment, now we find out that 85% of the vehicles are moving at quick speed. Now we have to fix that speed as the 85 percentile speed. Means now we could conclude from that statement that 85% of the total vehicles in that particular road during the particular daytime or the time of a day are moving at this speed. Now we get a value for the particular day for a particular hour. Now for a particular day for different type of for different hours we will get a different 85 percentile speed. Now again for different day of a month we will get a different percentile speed. Now again for different month of a year we get a different type of speed. So now the average of this speed is find out to be the 85th percentile speed, and this is the speed limit for that particular location. Means if you see in some places it is written that the speed limit is 30 kilometer per hour. How they find out? From this equation itself they had found out the 85th percentile speed. Means the 85% of the vehicles are moving at that particular speed range. That is why the speed limit is kept as the 30 kilometer or 35 kilometer or 40 kilometer. So it depends on the types of the traffic movement and the types of the road, types of the weather, types of the situation. So it completely different from situation to situation. It varies from case to case. So this is the 85th percentile speed. In the same way, the 50th percentile speed is what? The 50% of the vehicles are moving at that particular speed ranges. So here it is written that the spot speed calculation method. For a spot speed study at a selection location, a sample size of at least 50 and preferably 100 vehicles is usually obtained. Spot speed data are gathered using one of those methods. One is stopwatch method, radar gun method, and pneumatic road tube method. So among these, the radar gun is predominant method which are commonly used for any type of speed calculation. So how this radar gun looks like? So this is a radar gun. So you can find out it is some look like some gun. So here is a one switch. You can find out there is a orange color switch, and here is a display. Here is a display, and in the front side of this there is one laser point. So this point is not visible from this figure. So you can find out there is a lots of images are in Google. You can find out that there is in front there is a one laser light. So suppose one vehicle is coming from a road, and we have to pointed the front to the number plate of this vehicle, and we have to press the this button, and the speed of this vehicle will be displayed here. So this is the process of the radar gun. So a radar gun is commonly used device for directly measuring the speed in spot speed studies. The effective measured distance for radar meter ranges from 200 feet up to 2 miles. So you can find out a very huge range it covers. A radar gun is requires line of sight to accurately measure the speed and to easily operate by one person. Means line of sight means it should be free from any obstruction. The key steps of radar gun method. A radar gun spot speed includes four key steps. Select proper location and placement of the radar meter. I have already discussed how to select the proper location. Determine an approach for selection strategies. Record observation on radar meter spot speed study data from form, and generate frequency distribution table and determine the speed percentage. This frequency distribution table you have seen that for particular speed range there are this number of vehicles are moving. So this is the frequency distribution table. Now select proper location and placement of placing the radar meter gun. The position of radar unit is determined by capabilities of a radar unit. The unit should be also concealed from the view of the motorist. Effective range may up to 2 miles, but as the distance increases, the effectiveness decreases. So it's a general thing that as the distance will increase, there may be chances of the obstruction, there may be chances of some vehicles or the animals came into the picture, and you will not get a proper or the accurate data. So the effectiveness and the will be decreased, the data will be more erroneous. The least accurate position, which often result in no reading at all, is obtained when the meter is aimed at a 90-degree angle to the roadway center line. Determine an appropriate selection strategy. So except for study conducted under low volume condition, it is impossible to obtain a radar measurement for every vehicle. For peak flow analysis, speed are measured during the peak period. For assessing general speed trend or for setting speed limits, off-peak measurement are more appropriate. The selection of the target vehicle that represent the vehicle population under study is important. When the target vehicle is defined, a selection strategy is developed to provide a random sample. A random sample will reduce the tendency to select the vehicle that stand out. So here is we can find out two three important terminology. One is peak point, peak period. One is off peak period. One is your target vehicle. One is your vehicle population. So what are these things? So if you think you have seen, you have noticed the thing, what is peak period? So if you can think yourself that you can find out in a day for any kind of city throughout the world, in any metro city, urban city, semi-urban city, semi-rural, rural, then your planned city, mega city. In every city, there are always be two peaks of traffic movement. When it is in general, it is when the office time or the office will get started and the office will close down. So this is the general idea of two peaks. Now these peaks are different for different location. Say suppose one area there is only there is no offices are there. There is only 5 or 6 schools. So now for the schools, the maximum schools are for children for the lower kg or the kg that started in the early morning, and for the seniors it is around late morning, means around 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. or the vice versa, and based on the starting time the ending time will be different. So now for that area you can find out 4 peak. One is at the early morning, one is at the late morning, one is at the noon, another is at the afternoon. So now the peak and the peak hour is different for the different study area based on the purpose or the purpose of the road uses. The purpose of the road uses means whether this road uses for the office users, the road is uses maximum by the school student, by the college student. So these are the purpose of the using of the road. So this is the peak period. Off peak period means apart excluding the peak period, whatever the other time of the day is the off peak period. Now the selection of the target vehicle, what they mean that selection of the target vehicle in point number 3, that represent the vehicle population under the study area also important. What does it mean? Means suppose I have selected an area where my predominant vehicle is auto rickshaw. So I will continue my study, or I will consider the speed of that particular predominant mode of transportation, means the auto rickshaw. Now suppose in another cases there are the predominant is pool car, in another cases the predominant is the your school buses or the office buses. So based on the predominant mode of transportation, the target vehicle will be different, and we will basically focus on the speed of that particular target vehicle, because this is the vehicles which are maximum number of vehicles are flying on that particular road. Next is the record observation or radar meter spot speed data form. On the radar meter spot speed data form, the observer record the data, location, posted speed limit, weather condition, start time, end time, and the downtime. So these are the record observation have been done in the radar meter. A slash is recorded on the data form in data form corresponding to speed observer for each selected vehicle under the appropriate vehicle type of the classification. Next, this is a schematic diagram of spot speed submit. Okay, so suppose this is the main road. This is the main road. One vehicle is moving in this direction. This is the mainstream, and the one there is a one observer with some radar. So when the vehicles are moving, uh, we will directly reflect, because we have said that in the front of the radar gun there will be some laser point is there. So we will directly reflect, put the laser, put the front portion in the number plate, and we press the button. It passes the signal, reflect it, and again by reflection method. This is a simple reflection method you have studied in your 12 plus 2 your physics. So this is by simple reflection method they calculate the speed of that particular vehicle. So these are the some observation. This so if I zoom it, you can find out. So there are some calculation methods. You can find out that there is a data recorded. So number of the vehicle recorded data. So you can see that after the few dotted line they cross the that segment. So what is the thing? So one thing keep in mind, when we do the manual survey, we count one vehicle, two vehicle, three vehicle, four vehicle, five vehicle. No, we didn't continue like that. We continue like one vehicle, two vehicle, three vehicle, four vehicle, and cross it means it is a five vehicle. So this is a one set of five vehicle. Again we start one vehicle, two vehicle, three vehicle, four vehicle, and again cross it. So this is another segment. So for easiness of the calculation means we have to, at the end of the day we have to only calculate or the number of the each segment, means how many segment we have. These are the one segment, these are the one segment. So you have to just calculate the number of segment, and from that segment you can easily calculate the total number of vehicle, because you know that at each segment you have suppose four vehicles or five vehicles or six vehicles. So if you have a 6 vehicles in segment and there is total 100 segments, so there is total 6 number of vehicles you have the data of 600 vehicle you have collected on that particular day of a time. So this is a sample of your observation table you need to carry it out to the field. Next, this is the calculation process. So now you have to find out that what is the percentile speed, how we will find out the percentile speed. So if you see that this is the speed limit. So suppose at 21 kilometer, 2 vehicles are moving. So the cumulative frequency is what? 2 for the initial. Now for 22 kilometer speed, there are 1 vehicles moving. So cumulative is 2 plus 1 is 3. Next, the 23 kilometer speed, 3 vehicles are moving. So what is the cumulative for 23? This is the summation of this and this. I think you have already known this is the basic mathematics how to find out the cumulative frequency. So if you find out that at the end of the cumulative frequency, it should be 100. So if it is not 100, then there must be some calculating error. So from this, you can find out the cumulative percentage you can find out, means 2 out of 100 is 2%, 3 out of 100 is 3%, so 100 out of 100 is 100%. Okay, this is the cumulative percentile speed. Now if the question is asking, please find out the 15 percentile speed. So from this column you can find out that there is a percentile speed of 2, 3, 6, 10 in this, like up to 100. Now if you find out that there is no percentile speed for 50, there is no percentile speed for 50, but in question they are asking for the 15 percentile speed. So now what we have to do, we have to do the interpolation method, which is very common to you. What is the, you know the value of the speed at for 15% 45 percentile speed, you know the speed at 53 percentile speed, so the 15 percentile speed should be in between 45 to 53. Perform that interpolation method, you have to find out the 50th percentile speed. In the same way you have to find out the 85th percentile speed. So you have to find out the percentile speed what they are asking, whether they are asking for 15 percentile, they are asking for 50 percentile, they are asking for 85th percentile, or they are asking for 98 percentile. But one thing keep in your mind that for design aspect, the 98 percentile speed is to be considered, it should be considered as per ISC guideline. So 98 percentile speed means you can imagine the accuracy level, means 98% of the vehicles are moving that speed only at that particular speed range. So it is very accurate, but in practical sense it is very tough to get the 98 percentile speed. So maximum time we go for the 85th percentile speed. However, the 85th, to obtain the 85th percentile speed is again challenging and very tough in real life problem solution. So the speed percentile have already been discussed. So what is 50 percentile? The 50 percentile is the median speed of the observed data. The percentiles represent the speed at which half of the observed vehicles are below and half of the observed vehicles are above. The 15 percentile of the speed represent the average speed of the traffic stream. What is 85th percentile speed? The 85th percentile speed is at which the 85% of the observed vehicles are traveling at or below. This percentile speed is used in evaluating and recommending the posted speed limits based on the assumption that 85% of the drivers are traveling at a speed they perceive to be safe. Okay, so these are the thing we have already discussed. So suppose this is the posted speed limit in the various location of the road. In other words, the 85th percentile speed is normally assumed to be highest safe speed for a roadway section. This I have already mentioned that the for our easiness of the calculation, the 85th percentile is assumed to be the highest safe speed, but as per IRC guideline, they suggested a 98th percentile speed. Whether the conditions may affect the speed percentile. For example, observed speed may be slower in rain and the snowy condition. So this is the percentile calculation. This is a small equation is there. So what is the HD? HD is the speed at the PD. PD is the percentile desired, means the desired percentile. P max is equal to higher cumulative percentage. P minimum is the lower cumulative percentage. S max is the higher speed, and S minimum is equal to lower speed. So from this you can find out the speed of this vehicle. So now we will discuss one mathematical problem. So what they said that spot speed were carried out at a certain strength stretch of a highway, and the consolidated data is given. So this is the speed range and this is the frequency, means number of vehicles. So what they asked to determine, they asked to determine the upper and lower values or the speed limit for regular of mixed traffic flow. Means upper and lower means upper means 85th percentile speed and lower means 15th 15th percentile value. So keep in mind, they will not directly ask you the 85th percentile or the 15th percentile. They may ask for the higher percentile, a higher speed limit and the lower speed limit. So one thing keep in mind, that higher means 85th percentile and lower means 15th percentile, and the design speed means 98th percentile as per the ISC guideline. So now we move to the directly to this frequency table, frequency distribution table. So this frequency, what the frequency distribution table said, so these two column are already given, these two column, this one and this one is the summation of this one, and this one and this one is this one. So they said that the for these are the column number given 1 2 3 4 5 for easiness of the calculation. So for 0 to 10, 0 to 10 there are 5 number, the 0 to 10 there are 12 number of frequency. So the column number 1 and 3 is given. So column number 2 you have to calculate what is the mid speed. Mid speed is what? For 0 to 10 it is 5, for 10 to 20 it is 15, for 20 to 30 is 25. It's simple, you know that. Now the total frequency you get it from your question itself. So it is find out to be 850. The n, you have solved the arithmetic solution, and during the arithmetic solution there are total n, that is the total n. Now the frequency, so frequency is what? The frequency is the percentage of the frequency, means total is 850. So for that particular speed range, what is the frequency? Means 12 out of 850 is how much? 1.41%. So 18 out of 150 is 2.12%. In this way, we will find out the frequency percentage. And finally, the cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency means for 0 to 10, the cumulative frequency will be 1.41. For 10 to 20, the cumulative frequency will be 3.53. So from where this 3.53 came? This is 1.41 plus 2.12. Again for 20 to 30, the cumulative frequency 11.53. From this 11.53 came from 8 plus 3.53. So the summation of this will be the cumulative frequency. This is the basic thing in the mathematics you have already covered in your plus 2 or in your 10A classes. So how to find out the cumulative value. Next is the how to find out. So in the same way, in the previous problem we find out the 50 percentile and 85th percentile. So in the same way we will find out the upper speed limit, that is the 85th percentile. So you can find out that there is 76 is there, 90 is there. So there is 85th percentile is not there. So again we have to do the interpolation. From that equation we can find out the 85th percentile. From equation 11 point, from the value of 11.53 and 22 we can find out the lower speed value, that is 15 percentile, and the peak value is from 98 percentile. So where from here, from the cumulative frequency itself we have to find out the upper speed limit, lower speed limit, and the design speed through two method. One is interpolation method, either another is by graphical method. So you can do it by in examination or in competitive exam or in your semester exam also. If this type of mathematical problem came, you can solve this problem through your graphical through your graphical presentation or through your this tabular calculation or this interpolation method. So this is all about your spot speed study, speed analysis, how to calculate the spot speed, what is 85th percentile speed, what is 98th percentile speed. So this is the idea about speed data. So if you have any question regarding your speed analysis, so keep in one thing, keep in your mind that speed is one of the vital thing. From in many competitive exam, you will definitely get one or two questions from the speed calculation. So if you have any query, any question, here is my email ID is given. So you can ask me through my mail or through the WhatsApp. So this is all about the speed. Next day we will discuss some another topic on the transportation in traffic engineering section. So till the next class, thank you, and if you have any question, let me know your doubt. Thank you all.